episode of the African Echo podcast. How are you doing? I hope that you're good. My name is Portia, and this is a new episode today. I have another great guest. Today, we are talking about everything, but we are mostly focusing on purpose. Remember, the podcast focuses on purpose, it focuses on godliness, and it also talks about our African stories, the stories that we're sharing from the bottom of our hearts that are going to assist you, that may inspire you, that may motivate you. That's what we are here for. Today, I am joined by Bronwen Turner. She is a GBV activist. Oh my goodness, if I can just go through her bio, I will go on and on for days. But today we are talking about everything. Who is Bronwen and what is her job? What is her purpose? Welcome today, Bronwen. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I just talked to you before we came live. I read your bio and you have done so many things, so many wonderful things, but they were not always wonderful. Let's start from there. You faced so many turbulences and challenges. What motivated you to come out strong and say, hey, I'm pulling out of this?
I think a person's decision for resilience to live, especially more so as an adult person, living in a situation like that. And my mum passed away. Okay. And I've always grown up in a beautiful, quiet family home, lots of love and care. And then the opposite happened with me. So in my situation, I thought, this is not life. My mum passed away at 49. And then I thought, I cannot live out the rest of my days, however long I live, in this. This is not life. I've seen a portion of my parents, snippet in their life, and I would like something purposeful, happiness, joy. And that's the reason why I decided to pull out, because I was also a mother of 3, and you also live for your children.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the amazing parts of being a mother, and it's amazing parts of maturing and growing up. But in most cases, there are cases, Bronwen, that we're not going to shy away from, where a woman is in a relationship or in a situation where they don't know how to get out of it. Maybe what would be your advice to give to them at this moment? Say they're just viewing us like in passing in most times, but what could be that one thing you'll say will be significant to them?
Honestly, I would still say first, don't blame yourself. Let's start there for the individual. Like for myself, I stayed in that situation for 17 years in that marriage. And I left, I went back, and it actually gets worse each time you leave. So for my first point of statement to the woman who is staying in a situation for many years, I understand that. Why do people stay? Because there's always the stigma of, gosh, we're living in a GBV open society. Right. It's well publicized as to where you can go. SAPS has GBV victim-friendly centers as well. But the woman still feels a point of entrapment. Let's start there. So the first point of call I would say is, check yourself and forgive yourself for the situation you're in. And then from after that, go into a community or some sort of close. If you've got no close friend, in other words, you're in an isolated situation, it would be the SAPS GBV victim-friendly centers.
Right.
Nationally, SAPS are now have that dialogue that they will be opening that. At least most SAPs I've seen so far in the Durban city, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there has been a rollout. So I would say SAPS as a point of call if it's a dangerous situation. But other than that, reach out to the community, reach out to church or your faith's community. Not everybody is a Christian base, but there's a community center that you can go to and hopefully find some refuge.
Absolutely. Yeah. The importance of reading the red flags, because
Yeah.
there's always a red flag. Like,
Yeah.
what's the mug here? But then it's going to be an issue and a huge argument of the lifetime.
Yeah.
How important is that? Because we're raising children, Bronwen, and we're raising young women. We're raising people that are going to be fathers in the future. The importance of seeing that, this is not it. Or there's something wrong here, and be careful about that. Where do we draw the line?
I think for that would be more a case of communicating with your kids. We live in a digital society where, globalization in my day, I never thought I'd be saying something like that.
Right.
But back in my day, we didn't have the tech,
No.
and constantly in your face. If you wanted to play, you play outside in the street with your friends and get up and change the TV station.
Yep.
Things like that. So there's always there was always that interaction and some sort of communication. But now living in a society with a high digital age, there's so much deception, deep fake scenarios, and it's increasingly difficult for kids, in this Alpha generation, I would say,
Yeah.
especially growing up, and what are they going into? It's not that easy to see red flags, but I would simply say is, as a family unit, it starts at home. If you want to change the world, take care of your family at
Yeah.
home, communicate at home, show your children, because children learn by what we do, not what we say. Show your children what a good home looks like. So when they get out there and they see the opposite, that's instantly your body tells you this is not the right situation.
Right.
But also speaking to your kids, telling them, how valuable they are, and women as well in our group societies, because there's a lot of women. I had a doctor friend that passed away purely because she was in a situation where she didn't know how to speak up about her scenario, her red flags. When she got into it, was a wonderful person, went on holidays, did the most amazing things, but then came to a point of completely changed when they married. So I think it's also trying to maintain your individual identity so that when you enter into relationships or situations where you're committed to someone, rather maintain that identity, maintain your friendships, so that you can reach out when you need to. Yeah.
Right. Bronwen, I started in towards the end, but let's get back to the basics. You run, oh my goodness, you have so many projects that you have, but
Yeah.
let's tap into the ones where you work with the sex workers, the organization that works with human trafficking. That's where I remember you from, human trafficking, GPV. Take us through that. What is the purpose? What do you do there for these women?
Yeah. So for these women, it's more on the homelessness side.
Right.
When I started going to the shelter, I went there with my church. They had a prayer meeting once every 2 weeks. Okay. And then I hung around after the prayer meeting just to find out who are these ladies, how do they get here? Because in that homeless shelter, it's not everybody that's in a drug addicted or sex work situation,
Right.
but they are in a dire state of need. Even just basic of shelter. Therefore, ending up in the temporary shelter. The reason behind my wanting to do this work is that I've come out of something. I've felt the pain. It might not be in a state of homelessness, but I felt the pain of a desperate corner, stuck in the middle of something that you can't get out of. And when I saw that with these women, I felt that everybody needs a step up, some sort of putting something into somebody and giving a person a ray of hope. And therefore the whole conversation on the one-on-ones and speaking about GBV.
Right.
And yes, GBV is widely spoken of today.
Right.
But sometimes a person just needs that one-on-one interaction as well. The anti-human trafficking conversations also started with regards to the GBV link was there, and I saw, oh my gosh, I'm a parent as well. Would I want to have the next generations going into a situation where basic things like employment, graduates are now being taken into forced labor scenarios. So it's a wide need to have the discussion around anti-human trafficking, safety, and not just necessarily GBV violence. It's not always a violent thing, but sometimes it's a socio-psychological issue as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just going to put you in the sports a little bit here, Bronwen. Some of the, you know, when we talk about homelessness, we think of a person who's stays under the bridge, you know, in dire situation. Yes, but there are shelters around, especially here in eThekwini. Just give us a brief, maybe just a brief highlight of how they look like, they feel like, because I know that currently municipality has proposed a new shelter center, I believe in some way around the south. I'm thinking to Mukababa and stuff. This transition, how is that working out?
So the main issue with when it comes to homelessness especially is purely because of migration into the city. So it's not necessarily also the smuggled migrants into the city from out of South Africa, but within the communities. So if you're coming from rural or peri-urban areas, you want to be in the cities because you're not even earning that well. So basic needs like bus fare. Therefore, a person ends up staying in the city. So that's the one aspect of homelessness and that transition. The other thing is people seeking work. So they would apply for work, let's say from Ntuzuma or, and wanting to come into the city and apply for work. But then they find that they're actually stuck in a human trafficking is that type of scenario. So the transition from wanting to move homelessness scenarios out of the city into a place as far as Mkombaba, I would say it might be very difficult to create that transition. Yes, there may be people that desire homes and truly need it, but will those homes capacitate employment? Because people tend to move into the city, in the Durban city especially, because they're looking for work. Yeah. Because like a lot of the women that are at the female shelter that's managed by Safer Cities eThekwini, and I chatted with the ladies, and I also find that they're coming from decent homes in the rural areas, but they're coming into the city for work, and they just don't have a place to stay.
So the whole municipality project might really work or might not work.
I would
because
say
it's a voluntary situation as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you listen to the city of Durban, they say the main cause is for ensuring the safety of the homeless people and also for the people within the city.
Yeah.
But then how do you make the difference into that, and also transitioning a person who's normally within the city space, now taking them far away from the city. It causes that bit of how is this going to work?
Exactly.
And it's part of many people. I think there's been a bit of an uproar when it comes to this because people are not understanding this. What's perhaps have you had any feedback from the ladies there? What is their take, if there's any person who's voiced out their views?
Are you referring to in terms of the move out of the city to
yeah.
I actually haven't in terms of that specific site.
Right.
However, I do know for a fact that it would pose a question as, okay, it's wonderful that I would have, rezoning for housing, but how do I travel to work, or because most of the work is factory work or some type of work that's not really above a certain pay grade to just do basic services for home. I would honestly say my answer to that would be, when it comes to housing, is it going to be together with employment? I'm not saying that we must now find everything and give them an amazing package. You've got to pull your own paddle your own canoe. But yeah, I think that just needs to be. Hopefully, the city has thought of that.
We'll see how that turns out. We'll see how that turns out.
Yes.
Let's look into you now, Bronwen. You are leading a creativity art form. We've just seen the beautiful blankets that you and so many other products that you do. But take us through the creativity, utilizing that. And you said you're using that from basically things that people say, I no longer need this, but you're turning them into a beautiful product. How that idea came about?
I think the main thing for me was I was always, earth conscious. I'm not a tree hugger, but I was always earth conscious in terms of I really, especially as a child, I love painting. I love, turning certain things, into something beautiful. Well, at least in my point, beauty is the eye of the beholder. But and in that sense, I used to sew my own clothes and things, and I thought, I have a skill, and I like to think that I'm creative anyway, and convert that, into helping these ladies, because a lot of them are completely unemployed as well. That stay at the shelter, but the center that I'm at, there's no electricity there, and we've started with the t-shirts, the textiles, and converting that into, some of the ladies have converted them into even bags. I just started with mats because I learned
So
a
beautiful.
stitch, and then they've taken it further and started selling on Facebook Marketplace and things like that. And that's what makes me proud to see that, you walk alongside somebody and convert that waste. And when I say waste, it's not really filthy or something, but it would have ended up in landfill, and then turning that into something beautiful that someone would buy.
Absolutely. I'm loving, because I am a tree hugger. Well, you'll see in one of my posts in social media, I was hanging a tree there. Like, I love the tree. I was in Johannesburg. I was missing trees. And
Okay.
when I found a tree, I was so happy. But the environment,
Yeah.
one person says it's respect us because we have to respect it as well.
Yeah.
So I believe the work that you're doing with this project, it's amazing.
Yes.
And it's assist a lot into environmentally friendly situations that we require as people. Now, let's talk a bit. I know that you touched about it. Your campaign, or rather your program, the one that's called BATH, what is that entailing?
So the name, first of all, because at first I was like, oh Lord, I was praying about it, and I'm like, how do I come up? Because the name BATH came up due to the acronym bringing acceptance and trust to humanity,
Right.
and then foundation. But it's also centered biblically around, washing of the word in Ephesians 5, because as a believer myself, we are the bride of Christ.
Right.
So that's how I viewed it, as these women are women, first of all, so physical bride to a man that may have mistreated them in so many ways. And yes, I'm not a man, but in terms of walking a journey with him and seeing that they are capable of being loved again. And that's how the name started, BATH Foundation. So,
Right.
so there's a two-way with the acronym, but the word BATH is based off Ephesians 5, and with the washing of the word. So even though I might not say to some woman, in a one-on-one session on her individual development plans journey, there would be a scripture-based conversation or journey or guiding around that. And therefore why the word foundation next to BATH, because I just feel the word is truly a sure foundation. And that's what started it off, to be honest, in terms of, BATH.
What do you do there?
Well, the vision is to take each woman, first of all, individually, and have a conversation about, what is she like? Who am I? Because sometimes when you're just surviving, you forget about who you are and what do you like. Do you like apples or not at all? That a basic thing like that.
Yeah.
Because you live in a shelter, you get one meal a day. Whatever that meal is, you don't have a choice.
You just take that.
Yes, and they may have even come from GBV scenarios where even the man would, not give her a choice if she's been a housewife and all she had was whatever he bought, and that was it. So my point was, let's try and rediscover who I am again in the individual development plan, what type of person you are in terms of employment, because what's in your hand, and how can we use that really. And in between, that's how the crochet came about, because I thought, okay, I will at least do the skill, but people tend to want to. I've got a young woman that started off learning crochet. I could see she was failing miserably with that, but she got into a plumbing program. So she's now
Right.
learning to do plumbing, and she's thriving in that.
That's a
So my
wonderful
excitement is post the plumbing course, apart from helping her look for employment, because that'll be the next steps with her individual development plan, is CVs, applications, and seeing where we can plug her in for just getting a job now. But her next steps is, I'm sure I can, take this myself and become a registered plumbing business for myself. And that's what excites me, is a walking alongside a journey with someone. It's not just, because there's no quick fix when it comes to a woman that's been through something.
Absolutely. There is none whatsoever. It's a process, and a long process at time. So, Bronwen, another advocacy work that you do is you becoming the voice for people that have found themselves within the spheres of human trafficking. Back in 2014, 2015, I remember that I joined one of your walks. Yes,
okay.
you joined that. And the story that I still remember is of a young lady, I think she's from Phoenix, if not Chatsworth, but we were just chatting while we were walking. She's telling me that she was almost trafficked, and if it wasn't for the Lord, she would have gone to some place. She won't even remember where it is. So maybe she was going to be in prison for one thing or another. Now, tell us, working with these organizations and the job that you do, because obviously it's more than a job, it's a calling. You don't just wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to start an NPO without having a calling somewhere that is required and a purpose. What is it that you have achieved, or some of the highlights that have came through from this one?
I would say it's just so exciting to see that you've helped someone out of a dark place. And the other thing is awareness. I think for myself growing up, and yes, I grew up in a wonderful home, quiet home, but there was not much conversation, taking place. But also a different time, it's not so openly discussed in certain things. But yeah, so in terms of the anti-human trafficking and the walk especially that you mentioned, that's actually, I used to volunteer for that with UCEC, Mgeni Community Empowerment Center. They actually had their 14th, I can't remember what year now it is, but the walk was this past Saturday as well.
Oh,
yes.
I missed that one.
But they actually had opened my eyes to that, and I saw, wow, just being part of a greater community with helping people. Because for me, it just brings joy to see that you're empowering somebody.
Right.
And being part of the KZN Coalition Network and seeing other nonprofits actively involved. I mean, there's a nonprofit that's involved in the cybersecurity side of anti-human trafficking, not fighting as such, but advocating against certain social media platforms that completely open kids to dangers of trafficking and seeing sexual pornography on there. That brings me joy to know that you're part of a movement, a part of change, that the future does look bright, when you see there are people that still care about humanity, that not our children, not today. And that's what brings me joy.
And not on my watch.
Yes.
Absolutely, not on my watch. I think if we all can, as humans, as people, say, not on my watch, not while I'm here, and not today, we could probably save so many people. But sometimes our society is like, oh no, it's not mine, so I'm not going to get involved, which is really, really dangerous, especially for women in our country.
I must say though, was it last year? Yes, last year, August, Women's Month. Sorry, am I moving too much?
No, not at all.
Anyway, last August, I assisted Awareness Child Traffic Africa. They are based in Joburg, and we had a fundraiser for them last August because they want to plug into the KZN network as well. They've got an amazing board game, and I thought it was so awesome to see that it's a board game centered around GBV. I mean, you wouldn't think that you'd want to have a board game like that, but actually it was quite interesting to see. But just based off that event that evening, and I saw the corporates come in, individuals, corporates, and even media, and even, the what is it, like the ambassadors, and that they're so keen to say that
Okay.
borders are even closing in on things like this, that we stand with this. I was so taken aback to see the magnitude of people standing together and locking shields on that. Durban is a port city, especially so.
Yeah.
And we are, it's a unanimous conversation these days. So it's wonderful to see.
That's his progress.
Yes.
That's his progress right there.
Yes.
Bronwen, let's get down to this. The vision. You have so many projects and programs that you work on. We can go on and on. What is next in the line for you?
Well, I, for myself personally, I do have some business projects on the go. I think that'll be a next chapter, watch the space.
Right.
But yeah, so while I'm working with women and advocating out there, I too need to support my home and family. So right now as well, it's more about networking and getting to... I was always a person that worked in corporates, and I mean, I studied, I got PR, and still felt like, no, man, I'm not,
Something is
enjoying.
missing.
Yes. So my kids are young adults now, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm really focusing on me as well, with helping women in their situations, and having come out of a scenario for 12 years now free. I actually realized that, man, there's a lot that's missing. I'm not saying I want to go and do crazy things and be an 18-year-old again, but I definitely do want to find out, what do I enjoy? What are my individual development plans? So that's where I'm at.
That's where you're at.
Yes.
It's a beautiful space. I mean, seriously, when your kids have grown up, what's next?
Yes.
That's an important one.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a very, very wonderful game with you. This one, it's a segment, I'm going to say it's a hot talk.
Okay.
You are just going to tell me which one would you choose. So let me start. Are you a coffee person or a tea person?
Coffee, for sure.
Ocean waves or mountain air?
Ocean.
All right. And if you could have
I
a...
can't swim though, but I love the ocean. I swim like a stone.
How are you going?
But I love the ocean.
But then you chose
Yes.
the ocean.
Yes.
Lovely. Hey?
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with a woman in history, who would that person be?
Sure, there's so many. Gosh. I would definitely, and I don't want to sound corny though. There's two. Can I say two? But okay.
Okay, go for it.
I definitely would love to chat with Maya Angelou.
All right.
Okay, but also Mother Teresa. And I don't want to sound like too holy art thou.
Right.
But I think she's amazing, and she embodies love,
Right.
and what the word says and how to love, totally across the spectrum of who's who that she stands. And she's, the word says that she'll stand before kings, and she stood before many people.
Yeah.
And she was this tiny woman. But Maya Angelou, purely for a poem that she wrote, Why Does the Caged Bird Sing? Yes.
Legend.
And that actually struck a chord with me, because my mum passed away in 2006.
Right.
And I saw the title of the poem, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And it struck a chord because I feel like that caged bird, and I know why she sings.
Baby.
Anyway.
All right.
Yes.
That was a mouthful.
Sorry.
That was not one word.
Sorry.
The very last one for us. What song reminds you that you are unstoppable?
Oh, my. Waymaker.
Oh, all right. Yes.
I love that
Sinach.
song, purely for...
Waymaker,
Yes,
miracle worker.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a powerhouse. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you
Bronwen, for
so
sharing
much.
your journey and who you are and what you stand for. And with what's next, I mean, big things are coming your way. Big things are coming your way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your
All
time.
right. Well, this was it for today. And thank you so much for Bronwen for sharing with us her journey and what she stands for and mostly her purpose in life. This is the African Echo Podcast. My name is Portia Mbambo. Until next time, remember to check out our website, www.african-echo.co.za. You will find all our details there. Should you want to be the next studio guest, give us a shout. You'd like to find us, or if you'd like to just give us a comment or any question that you might have. Just get in touch with us. Until next time, goodbye.